Everyone. So, a lot of talks about a potential Austin Reaves trade, and that this might be the offseason that the Los Angeles Lakers finally kind of put pen to paper, so to speak, in order to get a trade done, right? He is going into a contract year in which he's likely not going to sign an extension because he'd get almost double if he actually opts out or becomes a free agent, not opts out, but, chooses not to sign the extension, ends up going into unrestricted free agency, and then he can sign wherever he wants. And the Lakers could run the risk of losing Austin Reaves for nothing, right? So there's that element of it. Or the other side of that is you're probably going to greatly overpay for Austin Reaves. Yeah, Austin Reaves at $13 million is one of the best value contracts in the league. But him at $30 to $40 million, it's just, is that the guy that you want to pair alongside Luka? Now, he could get better. He's still, young enough to really continue to take strides, continue to grow. He's gotten better each year, but there are some question marks with him. And particularly, no matter how great Austin Reaves is or isn't, right, depending on where you're at on that camp, the real question is, can he coexist alongside Luka in the backcourt, right? Can you win a championship with those two in the backcourt, right? Yes, I do think if you got the right complementary pieces around them and some high-end defensive pieces, some athletes and athleticism, then yeah, maybe something could develop there. But it's easier said than done to get some real two-way guys, right? You look at the Lakers roster currently. Obviously, some changes are going to be made and whatnot. I mean, LeBron James is basically your most athletic guy in the starting unit. Right? That doesn't really bode well for a team when you're counting on a guy that's going to be in year 22, age 41 to, hey, we need you to be the best athlete that's out there night in and night out, right? So a lot of questions in that regard, and we'll see if the Lakers actually do it. I do think it's more likely than not. The Lakers aren't going to just rush to trade him, right? And they're not going to just trade him just to trade him, right? And reports have recently came out saying the same thing. Right, that we have kind of a gauge, a range as to what the Lakers are looking for in any potential Austin Reaves trade. But I do think this might be the first year that the Lakers at least listen. Right, where in previous years, Lakers probably weren't even entertaining the idea. Previous years, not happening, click. Now I think you go, okay, all right, let's hear what you got, right? Because I think now you're in that place where you at least gotta entertain the idea. Right? Because there is the possibility that you just lose him for nothing. So if the Lakers have any inclination that hey, he might leave in the offseason, then if you're the Lakers, you got to get something done. But what are the Lakers looking for in a potential Austin Reaves trade? Well, they want a foundation piece, right? Now, the article that came out particularly talked about center, right? If they're going to trade him for a center, it's going to be for basically your franchise guy, right? Your center that's young that you can have for the next, 10, 15 years type thing. That's what they're looking to do. Think of a Walker Kessler or something like that. Maybe the Lakers would look to move him in a deal or a package like that. It might not even be that level. it might be somebody that they really, really value. But the Lakers essentially want somebody not just for the short term, not something where it's hey, we're going to go trade for, a guy that in 2-3 years, he's going to kind of phase himself out, right? They want a guy that's going to be able to come in and be kind of a building block because the Lakers look at Austin Reaves as a building block. Now, there is part of that could just be, you're never going to come in and be oh, we're trying to get rid of this guy. Even if they are hey, no, we're going to really trade him this offseason, right? They're not going to come to the table with hey, whatever you want. We'll trade him for Colin Sexton type. No, you're saying no, we're only trading him for Giannis, right? We're only trading him for a superstar. We're only trading him for this because we value him. He's a foundation piece. He's young enough to continue to grow and develop and get better, right? It's the sales pitch. That's what you're trying to do. But he isn't untradeable. That's been the big thing. And the Lakers don't view him as untradeable based on the recent reports. So, again, to kind of go over and talk about what was said, he's not viewed as untradeable because almost no one in the NBA is untradeable. But if the Lakers are going to trade him for a center, they're going to want one that is foundationally important. A build-around type and not a fill-in towards the obvious need that they have at the center and will need to address in other ways. So again, they don't want somebody that's just going to momentarily come in, right? They're not trading him for a Daniel Gaffford or a Nick Claxton or anything like that. But they, if you could get the right piece and the right move, the right package, right? If, again, a Walker Kessler, or, a Jalen Duren or something like that, if they call up and they go, hey, we're willing, Detroit or Utah, if they call up and are like, hey, we're willing to trade these guys for Reaves, maybe get some other pieces, right? And you can kind of get those building blocks, then maybe the Lakers would entertain that idea. But more likely than not, regardless, the Lakers are center position wise, probably are just going to go get a serviceable guy. And to be fair, I don't think that they need more than that, right? Like, obviously, at some point, LeBron's going to leave and depart, right? But even then, you're probably better off getting a perimeter guy, right? Like, you just need the center to essentially be a rebounder, shot blocker, and lob threat. Right? Like, that's it. That's essentially all you're looking for. You're looking for a guy that when Luka has the ball, he can, navigate and get into the teeth of the defense, collapse the defense, easy lob pass for the bucket, right? That's what they're looking for at the center position. I don't think you need this super skilled big man. Like, I don't think you need a Joel Embiid or something like that, right? Like, I just think you need that guy that, can do the dirty work, protect the rim, rebound, and be that lob threat. And that's it. Yeah, it'd be nice if he, has a little hook or turnaround or whatever, right? If you could get the right, a Mark Williams would have been fine. He's more of a skill center, right? Like, he's got multiple things in his bag. He would have been great to have, but I don't think it's like do or die necessity. Right? I think they just need big physical center that can kind of, have the occasional monster game, is going to go give you 15 a night just because Luka's going to go and get him, 5 lobs a game, right? Like, that is what the Lakers need. And then, I'd like to look and turn Austin Reaves into, if you want kind of a higher tier guy, into like a perimeter guy, like one of these higher perimeter guys, if one becomes available. Not like a Kevin Durant or anything like that, but, like one of these. Obviously, if you could do like a Giannis trade or something like that, then beautiful. I'd love that. But realistically speaking, right, like, I don't think it would be hard to say no, me personally, to like a Walker Kessler, right? Because he is young enough, he is skilled enough, he is good enough. He is also one of the best, if not, by most metrics, he is the best defensive center in the league, right? So a guy that has a lot of upside, that can be your defensive anchor, that can, be that physical presence, that can defend and, make plays out of the post, and has actually shown a little bit of the ability to stretch the floor and knock down the occasional three, right? Like, if you could get a guy like him and something else, because Walker Kessler is so cheap, right? So if you could get a Kessler and, I would, now we're talking, right? Like, if you could get, I don't know, I'd have to look at the list of like the young guys that come to mind, but if you could get a couple guys. I have said that, I wouldn't mind seeing the Lakers trade him for like clear upgraded pieces, ideally multiple. I just don't like. Again, we keep getting this same kind of rhetoric over and over and over again that the Lakers aren't going to just trade him just for pieces. Because I do think that there is a genuine argument to be made. And I've talked about this before. Trade him to a team like Houston and go get like 3 young guys. Right? Can you get a Jabari Smith Jr. and Cam Whitmore, and then like another piece, right? Can you get like 2 or 3 guys from them because they need that scorer, they need that bucket getter, they need that playmaker, right? Like, or in Orlando, can you go get 2 or 3 guys from Orlando, or like I mentioned with Dallas, could you get a Daniel Gaffford, Max Christie, and maybe like a Jaden Hardy? Right? Now you're talking, right? Now you got 2 young 3-and-D kind of guard forward types. And then you also got, your center for now in the next, 5+ years, right? Something like that, to where it's like you got 3 or 4 pieces, or you go get that high-end guy, a Dyson Daniels, right? He's, 22, 23 years old, already the best defensive player in all of basketball, like was historically great in defensively and steal-wise, right? Like, you look at stuff like that, like somebody that would just slot in beautifully alongside Luka for the next, 12 years, right? Or 10 years or 8 years or however long, however long Luka's able to kind of keep the party going, right? Like somebody like that. Or multiple pieces. But I just don't think the Lakers are going to trade him for pieces. Although you never know, right? Again, no team is going to come out and be like, hey, we'll trade him for 3 role guys, right? No, teams are going to, teams at that point now, if you're the Lakers, you're trying to get the greatest return possible. You're looking at it and going like, hey, we want, a star. We look at Austin Reaves as a star, so we want one of your stars, right? They're waiting for that right disgruntled star that's just like, you know what, get me out of here. Somebody like, Devin Booker or something like that. That's just like, you know what, I don't want to be in Phoenix anymore. Right? And they're like, well, Austin Reaves, here you go, right? Like type thing. That's what the Lakers are trying to look for. Will they actually be able to find that? And again, you might not have a choice. It's better to get something for him, even if it is, a Daniel Gaffford and Jaden Hardy, and maybe you get your pick back or something like that, right? Like if you get whatever, if you could get something, or like a Gaffford plus your pick back or something like that, right? Like if you could get, I'd rather have that than nothing. Yeah, you might look at it. Some people might look at that and go, that's not enough for us. Okay, fine, I agree with you, but like, would you rather just lose him? All right, so again, just things that the Lakers are going to have to weigh and kind of keep in mind. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.